Today on the list, when bad habits are actually good, how music saved hurricane victims, and how to make a vegan pizza full of flavor.
He's going to bring a spiciness, but also he's going to bring a lot of freshness to it.
Plus, what parents need to know about a boy's self-esteem.
I just want them to know that they are beautiful, that they are smart.
But up first, discover the benefits of a messy house. It's your life, it's your list, and it starts right now.
Hey everyone, I'm Christina Guerrero.
And I'm Jimmy Rhodes. And sometimes, KG, it seems like life is a never-ending hamster wheel of housework, doing the dishes, do the laundry, mop the floor, rinse, repeat.
Sounds like the story of my life. So one woman caught our ear when we heard her say it is time to stop shaming ourselves for having a home that looks like someone actually lives in it.
She's clearly not OCD. Learning that it's okay to be messy is our featured story at the top of the list.
A sink full of dirty dishes, a pile of laundry on the floor. These are the things that can make us feel inadequate or ashamed at the state of our homes.
I think most of us have had that experience where the house just got cleaned and like the first little mess someone makes, we're like, it like gives you anxiety because you're like, it's gone, it's done, all my hard work. But it's not intended to look like a showroom. It's intended to be functional.
Casey Davis is a licensed professional therapist and author of the book, How to Keep House While Drowning. She started posting videos on TikTok and realized there was a whole community of people out there dealing with the same issues.
Struggling with those daily tasks creates a lot of shame that I think it's important to remind people that it's a pretty human experience to struggle with those tasks.
So before you start that shame spiral, remember that messiness is not a moral failing.
And so I think recognizing that laundry, dishes, cleaning, they're just morally neutral tasks like getting your oil changed and your lawn mowed.
Just because you have laundry piling up does not mean that you're a bad person, parent, spouse, or friend.
Listen, we want to eat off of clean dishes because we want to be safe, we want to be healthy, we want to have a stress-free morning when we're making breakfast, but that literally is the end of it.
A lot of times this shame happens because of traditional gender roles in society. I mean, after all, just a few generations ago, women were relying on marriage to survive.
So what we see now as, oh, Nana's just really judgmental, like really has some roots in like, no, like at some point, like Nana was trying to make sure you weren't on the street.
And so as that attitude dies out, it's vital to stop seeking out what's supposedly normal and instead look for what's functional.
And I think when you recognize that if care tasks are only functional and they're cyclical, then you're not under any obligation to make like every care task cycle lined up at done and keep it there all the time.
Right. Let's face it, the dishes will never be done. The kitchen will never be spotless, and that's okay as long as your home is serviceable for you. And if you live with someone else, make it a discussion.
The reality is that most people have sort of mismatched tolerance for mess so that you can say, hey, we need enough dishes to get through the day and I need to have access to the sink. Maybe not the whole sink, but some of the sink.
And at the end of the day, the most important thing to do is to be kind to yourself.
Self-compassion is a lot more accessible because it doesn't require that you like yourself or that you think you did the right things today. It doesn't require you to compare yourself to anyone else.
And if that still sounds hard?
And the answer is you practice being compassionate towards yourself about not being very good at self-compassion. Like that's where it starts.
So it's okay if you don't have each and every sock put away, or if you need to dust a little, because it's okay to be messy. And that's at the top of the list.
A book on the New York Times bestseller list is written entirely for boys with one goal: to boost their self-esteem as they grow up in a world filled with pressure and stress. The Hollywood actor who wrote it says he wishes he had this kind of guide while growing up. We talked to him about the lessons he wants to share.
I am done feeling guilty because I don't want Mateo to have some small life where he counts pennies and doesn't get on a plane until he's 20 years old.
Actor and producer Justin Baldoni is most known for playing Rafael Solano, the hot masculine guy that wasn't afraid to break some hearts, for 5 years on the CW's Jane the Virgin.
And that's my girlfriend.
But Baldoni thinks men and boys are pushed too much to be manly men, and he's had enough.
The big thing that I want young boys to know is that their masculinity cannot be taken away. It is innate. It's not a performance. They don't have to try.
Which is one of the reasons he wrote his new book, Boys Will Be Human.
I decided to write this book kind of as like the older brother or that trusted friend that I never had growing up.
First, Baldoni's book tells boys they're not alone. It's hard growing up, especially nowadays, and going through puberty with no one to talk to.
About all of the things I felt shame around, going through puberty and finding porn for the first time and trying to understand what sex was and all of the various things that we experience as young boys.
His book tries to answer deep, embarrassing questions.
There's nothing out there for them. We leave them alone on an island, and then, we want them to be full dynamic humans, but that's not what's happening.
Next, he asks the question, what is masculinity?
We can unlearn the idea that vulnerability makes us weak, that feminine qualities, things like being empathetic, being sensitive, being nice, being soft, that these things make us girls.
He says real masculinity is not doing what all the other boys are pressuring you to do. It's actually braver to make your own decisions and to stand by your own morals. The book also advises boys to clean their feed.
I didn't have social media in the late 90s and early 2000s. I didn't have to constantly watch and compare myself to the highlight reel of somebody else's life.
He tells boys they should unfollow people on social media who don't bring them happiness. This book is written for boys ages 11 and up. Baldoni looks forward to the day when his 5-year-old son is old enough to read it.
It's about having these uncomfortable conversations and putting it all out there and showing our children that we don't have the answers and we're human and we were just like them at one point in time.
And Baldoni has an overall message for boys.
I just want them to know that they are beautiful, that they are smart, that they are incredible, but they're also sensitive and compassionate and empathetic. And it's these qualities that make them human and also make them men.
Giving young boys a path into a new way of thinking.
The vegan game has had a huge come up. It is healthy, filling, and tasty, and no food should be left out. Not even pizza. That's why Jackie Danker is showing us how to make 3 beautiful and delicious vegan pizzas at home.
Vegans rejoice because
Today we're gonna focus on vegan pizzas. You don't really gonna miss the meat component.
I'm not gonna miss the meat component?
I promise you.
Okay, that's a big promise. So to show us how it's done, we turned to chef and co-owner of Humble Bistro in Gilbert, Arizona, Jorge Gomez. Up first, the Calabrian sweet potato pizza. Starting with vegan dough, you can make from scratch or grab at a store.
So the sauce that we're gonna use for this pizza, it has Calabrian chilies. So we call it Calabrian sauce. It's gonna bring a spiciness, but also it's gonna bring a lot of freshness to it.
Now it's time for vegan cheese, which doesn't melt as easy as regular cheese, so
You're gonna need a more generous amount of this cheese for your pizza to cover your space.
More cheese, never hurt nobody.
Sweet potatoes, but also they're purple.
then some caramelized onions,
This looks so colorful.
a little pinch of chili flakes.
A pinch of salt.
Once cooked, brush crust with garlic oil. On goes dollops of vegan pesto and lemon zest.
It's an extra layer of flavor.
Oh my gosh, I never thought I would say this, but I really don't miss the pepperoni right now.
Next, the garden party pizza. Once you prep the dough, on goes olive oil acting as the sauce and vegan cheese.
Kind of almost all the way till you crush, so you can have those little cheese bites at the end, right?
Yeah, that's the best.
I know.
Then some artichokes,
Put some of the red peppers in there.
So beautiful.
That's the key. We always eat with our eyes first.
Yeah.
red onions for sweetness, and wild mushrooms,
This is our garlic confit.
which means it's slowly cooked in olive oil.
And when you taste your garlic, it's sweet.
And to top it off, brush crust with garlic oil, sprinkle with basil,
Lemon zest. This is our secret weapon.
of course some salt, and voila!
Wow, that's incredible.
No sauce.
Our final vegan pie is the truffle and wild pizza.
We're gonna use our garlic oil base.
Generously pour on your vegan cheese,
These are wild mushrooms. We cook it in olive oil and we put a little bit of red pepper just for color too.
then some leeks.
Leeks is kind of like an onion.
Spray some truffle oil,
More than anything, it's gonna give another layer of flavor and aroma. There we go. Parsley.
more truffle oil, and enjoy.
Wow, that is to die for.
For the full recipes, head to thelisttv.com. Having fun by making vegan pizzas at home.
Still to come on the list, why bad words can be good for you.
Swearing has been found to increase pain tolerance by 33%.
Plus, how music saved hurricane victims.
Why shouldn't the musicians and the people around here get noticed for their talents?
And
we're looking for the sorcerer Willow.
The George Lucas film that's becoming a TV series.
I need your help.
Just like old times.
Next on the list.
YouTube, doggone it, you're the crumbles on my cake, and there's nothing I'd like more than to enhance your enjoyment of this very show that you're watching right now. Here's how. By reminding you to please subscribe and turn on notifications. And here's what's great about it. You'll never miss a list. Huh? Sounds pretty good. Okay, back to the show. Welcome back. We all remember our parents getting on us about the annoying little things we did as kids. Fidgeting, chewing our gum loudly, leaving dirty clothes on the floor.
Yeah, actually, I remember getting on my own kids about those kinds of things within the last few days.
Well, as irritating as those minor offenses can be, it turns out they have a positive side.
Yeah, and it's backed by science. Hard to believe, right?
We're finding the good in our bad habits.
When your mom told you to always find the good in the bad, she probably wasn't thinking of our annoying, sometimes noisy bad habits.
Surprisingly, there are some wellness benefits to our bad habits.
Licensed clinical psychologist Dr. Dan Pallison looks at the silver linings in our terrible tendencies, starting with gum chewing.
When we're stressed out, our bodies tighten up, we clench, our jaws clench. Chewing gum has been linked to relaxing of the jaw, but still helping us to focus and maintain attention in stressful times. It's like a way to help us maintain that prolonged attention when we're stressed.
This is backed up by the National Institutes of Health, and even pro athletes use gum to get an edge.
Michael Jordan, Shaquille O'Neal, even Jordan Spieth that attribute staying in the zone for a longer period of time to chewing gum.
So when my coworkers tell me to spit my gum out, I tell them, get out of my zone.
That's right.
Our next bad habit getting a bad rap: messy rooms, desks, and personal spaces.
Messy personal spaces, even though they're the thorn in the side of many parents and bosses out there, can actually be a sign of intelligence and even creativity.
While the University of Minnesota psychological study backed this up, it may not apply to us neat freaks out there.
A messy environment for you may be distracting, but for a lot of people out there, a messy environment helps those creative juices flow.
We saved our third spot for the toe tappers and pen clickers with fidgeting.
You may be burning more calories. If you're bouncing your legs, you increase your blood flow, which strengthens the heart. So there's definitely some benefits to being active and fidgeting throughout the day.
Research from London's Mayo Clinic said you can burn more than 10 times the calories of someone sitting still, but you may come across as a pest.
I'm going to tell you that has been the bane of every office mate I've ever had, is if you have clicky pens. And I do this constantly.
Dan says that fidget toys, from spinners and cubes to bubble pop, can help us stay focused and on task.
It helps to preoccupy parts of the brain that may run a little active, especially for people with ADHD, and can help them focus in places like the classroom or in their office.
We'll wrap with the mother of all bad habits that, ironically, our mothers hate: swearing. Just ask Ralphie from A Christmas Story.
Fudge. Only I didn't say fudge.
A Kiel University study found it's a great way to kill pain.
Swearing has been found to increase pain tolerance by 33%.
What about like the Scooby-Doo swear words?
You're gonna have to break out the hard stuff. They found in the study that by just screaming out gibberish swear words, it doesn't help with the pain tolerance, but something about the actual swear words can increase your tolerance for pain.
Finding the good in the not so great.
Zoinks! He's right. Zoinks doesn't work.
We're reaping the benefits of our bad habits.
Guys, fall season is in full swing, so we are here to bring you 3 stories that'll keep you feeling warm and cozy. They'll also remind you kindness wins. First up is a Colorado-based tattoo artist with a video series where he gives out free tattoos to strangers in exchange for a good conversation.
All right, here we are at the Park Meadows Mall. We're gonna see if we can give someone a free tattoo. Let's see what happens.
Skylar Espinosa's artwork has earned him over 100,000 followers on Instagram, but this series goes beyond that. He not only gets to give people beautiful tattoos, but he also gets to share their inspiring stories.
You know, I never would have seen myself, a heroin addict or doing drugs, period. But like now, I wouldn't take it back. It gave me another perspective and it made my heart more open to accept people as they are. Until next time.
Until next time.
Very cool. Up next is a Florida singer, musician, and producer on a mission to help local entertainers get back on their feet after Hurricane Ian.
Music has always been a part of my life. I feel guilty that I made out as well as I did, but you know, there are a lot of other people that didn't, and a lot of my friends are devastated by this.
So Julian Sunby decided to open up his studio and let local musicians use it to record original songs for free.
Sometimes I'm up, sometimes I'm down.
He's also created a Facebook page where the music can be shared to help musicians gain additional exposure.
Hopefully they get noticed across the world. The storm got noticed, but why shouldn't the musicians and the people around here get noticed for their talents?
What a great idea. And finally, a nonprofit that celebrates the good that happens every day in Boise, Idaho.
We noticed that people here were just very welcoming and neighborly.
It's the Boise Nice Project, which recently wrapped up its School Niceness Challenge, where local students were encouraged to keep track of good deeds that could be later redeemed for prizes.
I think it's important because you encourage them to do something nice, and then it's kind of a perpetual thing that keeps going around.
In the end, it was the 5th grade students at St. Joseph's Catholic School who went above and beyond.
They can make a difference in simple ways. It might be simple to them, but to somebody else, that might be just what they needed that day.
And the goal is, of course, to create a positive ripple effect that goes beyond the classroom. I do love that. And those are 3 stories that show kindness wins. Lots more coming up. Stay with us.
Welcome back. And on today's watch list, we're looking at what promises to be a big month for TV fans. From a blockbuster workplace comedy to the return of a beloved franchise, November is getting it done. Aditi D. Jamal looks at the big entertainment hitting our small screens.
The fall 2022 TV lineup is packed with some compelling new series.
We are in the thick of fall TV season, and it is a great one this year.
Talking about his favorite picks of new November shows is Entertainment Weekly's senior editor and the host of the What to Watch podcast, Jared Hall. Starting off with Blockbuster.
Blockbuster on 3! One of the fall's new comedies that I'm really excited about is actually a workplace comedy.
Sorry if I haven't seemed stoked to be suddenly working the same job I had in high school.
This series stars an amazing ensemble cast led by Randall Park, Melissa Fumero, and JB Smoove.
No one's going anywhere because everything is under control.
In the show, they find out that all of the other Blockbusters are being closed except their location.
This calls for another drink.
All 10 episodes are brand new today on Netflix. Up next, The Santa Clauses.
Who are you?
I'm Santa Claus.
Tim Allen is back in the Santa suit for not a new Santa Claus movie, but a Santa Claus series.
I, Santa Claus, have decided to retire.
This miniseries follows Tim Allen's character Scott Calvin as he gets ready to retire and help find the next Santa.
Wow, I didn't even know you could do that.
The holidays are right around the corner, so this is perfect viewing right now for the entire family.
Give us your best ho, ho, ho.
Oh, okay, here we go.
This series premieres with the first 2 episodes dropping November 16th on Disney+.
Ho, ho, Omaha!
And finally, Willow.
The world needs you again. It needs your magic.
This one is a series that is like 34 years in the making. The Willow movie was in 1988, and now we have a series.
We must go beyond the edge of our world, into the unknown.
In the movie, we follow the adventures of Willow as he took a perilous journey to protect a special baby from an evil queen.
No, I'm not gonna let anything happen to the baby.
The Willow series is set years after the original movie, but what they share in common is that there is fantasy, there's adventure, and in this one, they're coming together to save their world.
How will you defeat us?
Same as last time. With my friends.
The first episode of Willow is scheduled to premiere November 30th on Disney+. Exciting new November shows on the watch list.
Talk about Be Kind Rewind. Those all feel like a blast from the past.
And on a personal note, I'm so glad to see a Detroit stand-up comic back on screen. Yay, Tim Allen.
Yay, Tim Allen, a man whose name is 2 first names that just might work for the dog or cat in your life.
Pet names have gone full human. Last on our list is next. Welcome back, and it's time for what's last on our list. And KG, your dog, Jeter, was named after a human, right?
That's right. My husband's a big Yankees fan, and Derek Jeter was their best player when we rescued him.
So why not just call him Derek?
Well, because that would have just been weird.
Okay, we'll take a look at this article from The Atlantic. The pet name trend humans can't resist. Why would anyone name their dog Kyle?
Yes, agreed. Why would anyone name their dog Kyle?
Well, gone are the days of Rover and Spot. According to Go Compare Pet Insurance, the top 10 dog names for 2022 are all human names, and human names have dominated these lists for years.
Yes, according to the article, people used to use descriptive names like Sturdy or Whitefoot to name their pets. And experts say the trend toward human names is a sure sign that we don't think of our furry friends as mere pets. They are now regarded as full-fledged members of the family, which I totally understand because Jeter was absolutely a member of our family.
Well, all 10 of the top names for dogs are human, like Bella, Milo, Teddy, Daisy, and for cats, really only Simba breaks the chain. And I'm just so glad that Lucy finally dropped out of the top 10 because my daughter's name is Lucy, and for years we've had this running joke where she texts me pictures of dogs named Lucy that she met, and there's been a lot.
A lot of Lucy dogs. Well, she should just be happy you didn't name her Fido.
Actually, that's my son's name.
It's not.
Kidding. No, he's Frank. However, his cat's name is a human name, Herman.
Of course it is. And friends, that is what's last on our list. Thanks. YouTube, with Halloween in the books, the next bold type national holiday is Thanksgiving. That's not the holiday, not Black Friday, not Cyber Monday. Those are sales to prep for the gift-giving holidays in December, which have eaten up enough of our calendar. Am I right? So let's luxuriate in November while it's here. Why rush? Like right now, you could be searching for something else to watch, but why not pause? Smell the roses and linger a while in the wake of the show that you just watched. Maybe give us a like or leave us a comment, or always know about new list moments by hitting the subscribe button and turning on notifications. And how's this for living in the moment? More episodes of The List. Breathe them in, people. Enjoy them.